phone?
Hi, and welcome back to yet another episode.
Greetings to all. And welcome to our guest, Mr. Elijah Carbajal.
You nailed it.
That's what I'm talking about.
First try too. I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Here.
I'm happy to be here.
And we are happy to have you. So, as you just mentioned, you wrapped up school today.
I did.
And as I said earlier, Elijah had a wonderful class, wonderful students, and I enjoyed reading to them. And they had the opportunity to see my sweet Abigail before she passed away. So I can share that memory with them, knowing that they had the opportunity to see her before she gained her little heaven wings. So it is a pleasure having you here. And we know that you and Kristen have something in common, although you two have never met or been connected. You all are now connected by a book that was written by Dr. Rick Jeter.
Dr. Rick Jeter. Yeah, it's a pretty big project. I hope people have heard of it. It's the 100 no nonsense things that all educators should stop doing. And this is embarrassing, but I don't have my book in front of me. It's on the coffee table because that's where I'm doing my reading at. So I am reading it. Rick Jeter, if you're watching this, I am reading it. Okay.
And mine arrives tomorrow. So I'm excited. I was like, dang, it won't be here before the show, but that's okay. I'm going to definitely have it in my hands tomorrow. And I'm excited to know at least two of the awesome authors that have put chapters inside of that book, and I look forward to seeing how many more I know that have put chapters in that book. So Elijah, tell us some things about you. Tell us, how long have you been in education? What made you become a teacher? When did that light click that I want to be in the classroom?
Yeah, so I have wanted to be a teacher since I was about 14, but I didn't initially want to go into general education. I wanted to be a music teacher. I play a couple different instruments. I'm really passionate about music. I'm always listening to it. I drive my partner, Tracy Taylor. I drive her absolutely crazy because I'm always listening to music and stuff. But eventually kind of went through the courses in college and kind of found like, hey, this might actually be kind of cool to go into the classroom. And then my advisors talked me into it. They were like, no, you would actually be really good, especially in an elementary setting. They need male teachers.
They do.
Which they do. We are like unicorns. We are like so hard to be found. It's rare. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, it may be one in, or I would say average, depending on the school district size, it's very few that you find male educators in the classroom. So hats off to you.
Especially in the elementary setting.
Yes.
So anyway, that's where plans changed, and I pursued a degree in general education. Graduated from UNM and started teaching right away. I wrapped up my 7th year of teaching.
Yay!
So, really
and what grade do you have? 4th grade, right?
I just finished with 4th grade. Next year I will be teaching 3rd graders.
Okay, I'll have 5th graders next year.
Oh, yeah. Wow. There's a special place in heaven for 5th grade teachers. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Well, look, I don't want my wings right now, but as long as they're waiting on me when I get there.
Although we could probably say that for every educator out there, especially after the year we've had. Man, what a year! What a year for education. So,
absolutely.
Kids, yeah.
Yes, I commended. I had a parent-teacher conference with 2 of my son's teachers, and I did commend them and tell them that, hey, my hats go off to you. I appreciate you and everything that you've done this year, because I know it can be hard teaching online and then teaching in person. And then when the boys would be hybrid, they'll have some online and some at school, and trying to multitask the two. My hats went off to them. I'm like, I'm going to make sure I get them nice teacher appreciation gifts before the week is over.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, man, balancing that was tricky. And our district, we were in kind of a unique position. We stayed completely virtual up until beginning of April. So the last 6 weeks of school, we were in a hybrid setting.
Okay.
Which
So they
man,
would come every other day?
well, sort of. So it was a hybrid in the sense that there were like we were doing like in person and virtual teaching, but it was like if you were in person, you were there full time. If you were, online, you were online full time. So there wasn't the switch back and forth, but there was that like teaching of two different groups. And yeah, extremely challenging. So my hat's off to every teacher
I
as
teach
well.
secondary ed, ELA, and all my kids were remote. Like I haven't been in the building for a whole year. So I've not even been back to the school since March of last year. And all my kids are remote. No one returned to the school.
Wow. We were almost in that situation. So how has that been? Like, because I initially was like, is this a good idea to go back with this much time? But a lot of the kids did really well when they returned. So how are you feeling about that?
It's weird because I just talk to black screens all the time. So I had a sock puppet that I made called Mabel. And her and I would talk to each other, a lot because no one else would talk to me except for my fifth hour. My fifth hour was nonstop chatting, but never turned their screens on. But
Oh my
I
God.
actually, the kids,
Let me ask you a question.
uh-huh.
Did you feel like Dora the Explorer? Because that's how
I
my partner Tracy is an art teacher. She said the same thing. She's like, I ask a question, I stare into the camera, I wait for a response, and then I answer the question for myself.
Well, one day during fifth hour, they were just being unruly, by chat. And so I played the Tootie Ta song. You ever hear the Tootie Ta song? All right. So after this, just look it up on YouTube. It's a baby, like baby shark kind of thing, but it's going to get stuck in your head. So you're welcome ahead of time. And so I played Tootie Ta, and it's just like that will not get out of your head now.
Tootie Ta.
I think it's TOOTA or TYTA, Tootie Ta.
Tootie Ta.
Tootie Ta.
I will look that up.
I am knowing Kristen. It's bad. Yeah. Kristen, her sock.
It's gonna get stuck in your head, and you're gonna hate me later.
So, Elijah, we know that your advisors kind of helped influence you to go into education. Is there anyone else outside of your advisors that maybe inspire you now and continue to inspire you while you're on this journey of teaching?
Yes, absolutely. First, I think about the people, first of all, that inspire me. My partner, Tracy Taylor, is, like I mentioned, an art teacher here in New Mexico, and but has taught in different settings. She was a first grade teacher. I think she taught third grade at one point as well.
Does she draw? I'm cutting you off for a second. Does she draw?
She draws, she pours, she paints. Yeah. She does photography. Yeah.
Okay.
LaTezeon has a secondary thing going on here. I know exactly where you're going with this.
I sure am. I might have to talk to Miss Tracy and see if she can be of assistance to me. Because I need some
help. I have a person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty close to her. I'll talk to her.
Absolutely. And I'll send you the details and we can just, work it out that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So who has inspired you?
Yeah, but like I was saying, Tracy is a big inspiration to me. She's one that I consider my mentor. I always tell her, and I'm not just blowing smoke. Like, you really are my favorite teacher for a reason. The things that she does with her students is really inspiring. She pushes me. She supports me with decisions that I make. one of the biggest things is that she makes me feel confident as a person, as a teacher. So big love to Tracy. She
Shout
inspires
out
me
to
big time.
Tracy. Yes, absolutely.
And then
Is
some
it
more.
the hearts?
Yeah,
Yes, give her so much love.
love to Tracy.
Absolutely. Love for her.
And then I'd like to also mention my family. So my chapter in the book 100, the 100 Stop book, chapter 43, Stop Telling Kids That They Have to Go to College, was a big part of that was inspired by my family, because not all of my family went to college. Some of them are military. I have a brother who is in the fire department, a sister who used to, was a hairstylist and is now a full-time caregiver. Not all of them went to college. It was me and one of my other brothers that graduated from college. But I'm like, at the same time, I look at them, I'm like, you have some of the most successful lives. You have, beautiful families, you're well taken care of. And, you're in positions that, you're in a career that is essential, that is vital to our society.
Absolutely.
Is a service, positions,
Absolutely.
And so a big part of that inspiration for writing that chapter came from my family. So yeah, big love to my family as well.
Okay, love to the family.
Yes.
Gotta give it to them. Must.
All right.
Must.
So going on with that, there's one part that I quoted the other day on Twitter, and it's towards the end of your chapter. But you had said that there was a sign around their shop, and this is really interesting because I teach secondary ed, I teach sophomores and seniors, and for years I've told students, if you're not ready, if you're not college material, there's something else for you. The trades are dying. My husband's been working in the phone company for 25 years, and there's no one below him because no one has moved into the trades, and he's been there for 25 years. So the sign that says, someone with a PhD designs the fighter jets, someone with a master's degree builds the fighter jet, someone with a bachelor's degree flies the fighter jet, but it's someone with no college education who keeps the fighter jet up in the air.
Wow.
And I just thought that was just, so thoughtful, because it's so true that one of my students that I pushed through high school, I had him both sophomore and senior year, and I pushed him, and it was, trust me, it was tiring to push this kid through. And he looks at me, he's like, well, should I go to a junior college? I said, no, you should not go to college because you would fail like right away. But you know what? He knew deep down inside, he was just going with what everyone else said. And he went into the military, and he's about 10 years in the military and loves it. Never regretted a day joining. And that was the best thing for him, because he got his act together. He learned respect. He learned discipline. He learned, all that. And if he went to college, it would have been a whole different scenario.
Yeah, my brother is serving currently. So hats off to all our military men and women.
Absolutely.
We definitely value you all and your service to our country. So tell us about a situation where you had to rise up or overcome something.
Yeah, when I think of that, there's a particular story that comes to mind that took place a couple of years ago. It was right around, I believe, state testing season, so everyone's kind of how that goes. If you test with your kids, you know how that goes. And so it was just kind of a crazy day, testing for longer, for long periods of time, then coming back and going through the day. It just honestly felt like everyone was just kind of going through the motions, and it's that doesn't fly in my class, because it doesn't work well. I realize, not like, oh, that doesn't fly. It's just like, no, this isn't going to work for our class. Like, we're not going to get stuff done and, be successful if we're just going through the motions. But I was pinning it on the kids. And at the end of the day, I was like, man, the kids, like, this testing, man, just must have them down. And like, man, they were so not engaged and blah, 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 just going at it. And then the thought was like, well, what about you? Like, check yourself. Like, were you engaged, or were you kind of feeling a little lazy yourself because of testing? Or are you just blaming testing to, as, someone to blame? So it really made me stop and check, like, whoa, like, yeah, I need to check myself here, because maybe I wasn't bringing the passion and that, that excitement and that energy that the kids needed to do. And then they're feeding off of me. So,
I like.
the next day I had to really, change things around and really, kind of bring that fire, even when it was like, man, I'm tired. It was like, nope, got to bring the energy.
Yeah,
So
bring it. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's great that you, also held yourself accountable and took that time to reflect and reflect upon yourself and what kind of energy were you giving off to them as well. So that's definitely something to take into consideration when, with anything in life, but especially when you're in the classroom, try to see what type of energy do you feed off to your students, and see what kind they give back to you, and see if it's attractive and bouncing back off of each other, or not. So yeah, I like that. I feel you on that one. So what kind of advice would you give to a new teacher straight out of college, straight into the classroom, no student teaching, just had that degree, went on that interview, passed the praxis, and she lands that position, or he lands that position. And this would be a great perspective coming from a male. What would you say to that first year teacher?
I would encourage them to start building relationships, positive relationships with students and with your staff, at least your team, that's your grade level team. Students, that was something I wish I had known, was in my first year. When I look back on my first year, I cringe at a lot of things that, the way I acted or the way I treated kids. It was like, oh man, like, but I just didn't have that voice to tell me, hey, it's all about relationships. Like, connect with students first, and then everything will kind of start to click in.
Absolutely.
And not that that's why we do it. We don't do it for the magic trick of, oh, we built connections and now my classroom management is perfect. No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. We do it because it's the human thing to do. So I would encourage building relationships with students. And then as far as your staff, not that you necessarily have to be best friends with everyone you work with, but we do, like, this is something I wish I had been told my first year, because I was an island my first year. And, when you are, like me, and I was struggling to keep my head above water that first year, but then you're all by yourself, it gets pretty scary there. It gets
Absolutely.
it gets pretty, just kind of crazy. So, it's always better when I have someone to go to, right across the hall. And besides, I believe a lot of times some of that good professional development we need can be solved by the person next door. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can go ahead.
It's funny that you said to build the relationships your first year, because I'm 20 years in. Well, this will be my 20th year in education, but my 16th year at my current school. And I still keep in touch with with a girl there that I first taught my first year. So 16 years later, I still keep in touch with her. So it's amazing that they still want to keep in touch, and they still want to share their life with you, even though I was new, starting out at a new school, and still 20 some years later. But that's how it works.
That just shows the huge impact that you've had on that student's life. So, which again is just another reason why I would encourage build those relationships with your students, because they don't just last for the year. They are long lasting.
They are long. And so I do agree with you saying to reach out, and the professional development could be right across the room from you. At a prior school where I was teaching high school English, there was a math teacher right behind me on the wall, but I could always hear her class. And that was like the best time to me, because I could just hear her speak and hear her, handling her class. And math has not ever been my subject. I still thank my teacher. I think this is now the third episode I have thanked Miss Kennedy. So Miss Kennedy, my geometry teacher, if you're still alive, thank you so much. She gave me my 85 because I know I did not earn it 85, but she knew how hard I worked in her class, and it's just the lines and stuff just wasn't working well with me. So thank you, Miss Kennedy, wherever you are, for that. But
I forgot that we had comments in here, and I'm sitting there like, what's this number? It's the comments. So sorry, Dr. Jetter and Terrence. But I do have to bring in our friend, Dr. Jetter, who compiled the book that we were talking about. So he said good evening. So he was on here.
Yeah,
I just realized the comments were coming through. I'm like, oh no, I'm not used to that.
Sweet. Well, I'm glad he was able to
and
jump
we got
in.
someone checking in from South Korea. Where is it? It's gone.
Damn. Hey.
Oh, hey.
There we go.
Cool. That is so cool, from South Korea. I have no clue what it is, but that is so cool.
when you teach fifth grade, make sure you don't do geography or do geography.
No, geography would not be on my thing. We're going to read in math class, that's for sure. We're going to read in math class, but geography.
All right, so Elijah, we know that there's 103 authors that contributed to this book, and there's 2 more books coming out. What inspired you to either reach out to Dr. Jetter or have him reach out to you to contribute to the book?
Yeah, I love to write. Just for myself, I write poetry as a way of kind of journaling. But as far as education goes, I had a blog site that I used. And so I'd been writing for, I don't know, about a year when he put the call out, I think maybe a little bit longer. So it's something that I'd been passionate about. I was also in the works with something as far as books, which I'll share here in a minute if you guys don't mind. So it was really, when I saw that, I was like, man, that's just a great opportunity, and I feel like I have something to share. And I kept hearing, and seeing Adam Welcome's words, just do it, like enough thinking and planning, just go do it.
I don't know where I was, but I missed it. I am now connected with Dr. Jetter, but I apparently missed that memo, and I hate that I did, but I'm also okay that I did, because now I do know about it, and I do look forward to getting my book tomorrow and taking the time to go through and read each of you all's chapters. I'm sure they are what I would expect and more from each of you.
So Elijah, tell us about Shut Up and Teach.
Drew me to Elijah.
Shut Up and Teach. Yeah. So Shut Up and Teach, you could actually probably call it another, rising moment, I guess. It was, again, one of those days, busy time of year, I think, just, the stress of everything getting to me, my own anxiety, my own depression, my own issues, things like that. And just sitting there looking at the clock, I'm like, dang, I have an hour before the kids get here. Do I have enough time to write subplans? Yes. Is that a good idea? No. Shut up and teach. And so that's kind of the conversation. That's kind of how that went down. And it wasn't a call to ignore the problem. It was just like, hey, that's there. It's not going away, so you can deal with it later. But right now, there's 24 fourth graders sitting in front of you, or who will be sitting in front of you, who need your attention, who need your best. Are you going to give them your best, or are you going to sit here and wallow in self-pity? And so for me, it was a way to it was kind of a call to let's not ignore this, but let's push forward. Let's be present with our students. But over time, it's kind of taken on a new kind of I've seen it spread and touch different areas. Like, hey, I'm not teaching to the best of my abilities. Like, I'm not engaged enough, right? Like the example earlier, I'm not engaged enough. I need to step it up. So yeah, that's kind of just where that sort of births from. I don't encourage people to ignore their problems at all or pretend that they don't exist. But I do encourage people to, kind of leave your problems to the side, be present with your students in the moment so they can
Yes,
get the best from you and that you can
absolutely.
experience everything with them.
Exactly. There's a time and a place for everything. And
Yes.
so, at that particular time, your time should be devoted to your students and giving them the best that you have. And, you know, not neglecting them from receiving your best.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so, on that note, what advice would you give to an educator who is burned out? They're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Like, girl, you're going to be in it till you 20 more years. 20 more years, you still going to be doing it.
Oh, please don't threaten me.
Well, I don't think I would start with advice, and for a couple of reasons. First, I've finished my 7th year of teaching today. I haven't experienced burnout yet, and so I don't.
That's awesome because it usually happens around the 5th year. So
I've
that's
had
great.
I've had years that were like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can get through this year. Hashtag 2020 right?
Mhm.
But the year that the year that just refused to quit. But I've had years that were really challenging to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, this is like, I just want this year to be over. But it wasn't like I'm ready to stop teaching. So I've never experienced that, so I don't know if I'm in a place to kind of give advice on that. But I would also start by I would ask questions. I wouldn't just be like, "Hey, I'm not in a position. Go find someone else." I think I would ask questions, and I'd start with something like, um, why, what are you burned out from? Because if it's, well, I've been teaching 4th grade for the last 17 years, that's a different story. That's not, hey, you need to retire and get out of the game. That may be a conversation of, okay, or followed up with another question. Okay, have you considered changing grade levels?
Mhm.
You've been in the same grade level for 17 years. Is it time for a change? Or I've been at the same school for 18, 20, 30 years, whatever. Okay, is it time to make a change to a different school? Is it time for a position change? But I don't think I get there without asking some of those questions to first understand. I think about that meme. I've seen this meme that says like, it's like why you shouldn't tell people what to do, right? And then it's like the big pie graph, and it's like 99% of it, and it's like what you don't know about the problem, and then there's like 1%. It's like what you actually know, and so that kind of stays with me. In that, like, okay, they're burned out. I can't come in as like going into my 8th year saying, oh, just get your fire back or just return to your why, or, like, you got this, just do it for the kids, right? It's all about like, I'm not going to come in guns blazing like that because I don't know that situation. So I think it'd be best. I think it'd be best for me to kind of ask some questions, some
So
guiding
yes, do an
questions.
assessment first. Yeah, do
Yeah.
an assessment to kind of get a feel on what exactly the problem may be or how to target the problem.
Uh-huh.
Uh, 21 years in education, and I've never felt like this. Not a week goes by where I don't question whether I am passionate enough about teaching to continue. Wow,
That's awesome.
that
Yeah.
is. I'll be glad when
Yeah.
I get in those years. I'm so far from. I'm at 10, so but I want to hear when I'm at like 18. Like you've been teaching for 18 years. I hope I still look the same and I can say I can teach you for 18.
Hey, for some reason, I'm still 21. At least that's what I tell my students. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Elijah, if you can make one thing better for educators, just one thing, what would that one thing be?
I think it would be, is this like the magic wand, wave it and everything's fixed, problem
Magic
fixed?
wand, wave it, bam, it's right there.
Oh man, there's so much to start with. I think what I would start with is proper funding for
Mm-hmm.
education. with the intent of using that funding in the right way, right? We're not gonna, blow this money
Yes,
on
right way
random
has
stuff.
to be it. That has
It
to be
has
it.
to be. It has to be spent mindfully. Are we using it on manipulatives? Are we using it to update our facilities that are old? Are we updating technology? Are we giving kids a proper place to play at? Is there money set aside for professional development?
Absolutely.
I had a situation where I was looking into bringing in some professional development to a school that I was teaching at, and the person I was speaking with said it was, I don't remember the exact number. I think it was around like 7,000 or something to bring them in.
Oh,
Which
it's
is
not
like,
cheap to bring
yeah,
anybody in.
and that's
Woo!
something that, like, I had no idea that consultants would be
Honey,
that expensive.
That
But
that was it. That was affordable. You should
yeah,
hear some of those other prices out there. We won't name
Mhm.
any people, but there are some people that's in the 2 digits.
yeah,
Thousands.
There's like
yeah,
10 grand just for a half hour. Like,
Exactly. Like when they go
yeah,
into this, man, that's a whole nother ball game.
exactly. And it was, and it was disappointing because I was like, man, this is good. This would be good professional development. This really would be good. We just don't have the funding for it. And so I think it would be the magic wand, wave it, there's the money, but also wave the magic wand and make everybody spend it the right way. So,
Okay. One thing to make education better. Tough question, great answer. Absolutely.
I think we have our 2 fans here. We have Terrence and Dr. Jetter, our 2 fans here. So thank you. Shout out to you guys.
Yes. Shout out to the 1s and 2s. All right. So a lighter question. What's your favorite color, Elijah?
my favorite color
Yes.
is black. Most of
Ah,
the time I dress in black quite a bit.
really?
A lot of,
You
yeah.
don't look like a black jacket type. No.
Yeah, no, it's pretty black. Black skinny jeans. Most of my shoes
Or
are
like you have
black.
Vans or like
I wear
Converse.
Vans and Converse. Yeah, I wear Vans and
Yeah,
Converse.
I
Yeah,
feel that. That's you right there for sure.
yeah,
But where'd you get this
yeah.
All
black
right,
from?
we have to say goodnight to Terrence. He is was
Oh,
Wednesday
Thank
morning
you.
here. Wow. Well, thanks for
wow.
joining us.
Thanks for
Thank you
joining,
for
Terrence.
joining us. We really appreciate you. Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Yep.
That was cool. It's morning time over there. Dang. And I'm so
That's
ready to
awesome.
go to bed. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
I had a long day of jury summons and they finally picked the jury and it took I went last week and they narrowed us down. Then I had to go back today and they finally figured out their 12 and the 2 alternates. But after I found out what kind of case it was, I didn't want to be, because it was my dream to like be on a jury. I was like, yes,
Oh,
I
really?
got jury summons. It's my first time. I've been waiting 10 years. I got it. And then when I found out what kind of case it was, I'm like, no. I don't think I can handle that. Y'all go ahead on. And so I sat there and crossed my fingers that I was not one of the 14 called, because that's not a case I would have wanted to be a part of. I don't, no. So I think I could say that much and not get in trouble. But yeah, that definitely was the case I
Yeah, as
wanted to
long
go.
as you don't say what kind of case it was or anything like
Yeah,
that, you're good.
yeah. I'm just, it wouldn't have set right with me. And so I just think about that, and I know that that's the system, and you're set up to be judged by 12 of your peers, but ooh, man, I am gonna follow the case as much as I possibly can. My husband even said that sometimes people go in to just like watch,
Yeah.
like watch the so
Yeah.
I might, go one day if I can when the boys are at school. So if it's going on Thursday, I might sneak in Thursday just to kind of catch a bit of it. But no, when I found out what kind of case, no, I didn't want it. Okay, so do you have a favorite quote?
Favorite quote. It's from a song.
Okay.
It's from a song called "In Christ Alone." It says, "No guilt in life, no fear in death. This is the power of Christ in me."
Ah, you're spiritual too. I knew that was the reason I loved you, Elijah. You spiritual with me, but we got that spiritual connection. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And who are some of the amazing people in your PLN besides myself? I know. Thank you.
And Kristen, yes.
Yes, she forgot
Yeah,
about
Kristen
me.
is in there.
I'm starting to feel a broken heart.
Let's
No,
fix that. Let's fix that.
no, you're in there now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some amazing people to follow. I would say Tracy Taylor. Obviously, I'm going to give a shout to her. She's been posting some amazing things lately and sharing some great things that her art classes have been doing. So,
Okay, so she's an art teacher.
She's an art
I
teacher.
remember seeing a Tracy Kelly online before, but I don't know if I found it.
Yeah, so I would recommend her. She can be found at Tracy L Taylor, and the Tracy is spelled EY, so TRACEY. So Tracy L Taylor. She's a great one to follow. Becky Schnexer is a great
I
science
love Becky.
educator,
Yes,
explorer,
Becky is all
author.
about science. Yes.
Yes, I love it. So
Yeah,
she's amazing. I would definitely
she is.
recommend following her. She's at
She's
Schnexer.
Yeah, she's so dope. I follow her on Twitter and IG, and I just love all the pictures she posts. And she's such an awesome like photographer with her science, and she's so like she puts her heart into science. And I hope I'm able to do that with math. Like I'm able to put my heart into math, so
Absolutely.
that it'll show. This guy is the man. You ladies are too. Gotta run. Much respect to you all. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Jetter,
Dr.
for
Jetter.
Give some love
spending
to
some
Dr.
time with
Jetter.
us. Yes.
Yeah.
Love felt there. We really appreciate it. Okay. So one more. One more.
One more educator.
Yeah, one more
Oh, okay.
educator.
One more educator. This one's pretty easy. I'd say Mike Earnshaw. He can be found at
love
Mike R.
Mike.
Earnshaw.
I don't know that. Who is he?
So Mike R. Earnshaw. That's his handle there.
He's a
Mike
skateboard principal.
is a skateboarding principal from Illinois. Yes. He is the co-host of the Punk Rock Classrooms podcast. He hosts that with Josh R. Buckley. He'd be another good one to follow, Josh Buckley. And there was something I was going to say about Mike. Mike is also being published with EduMatch Publishing.
Yep, he is.
So he has a book being released. I don't know when, but he's got a book being released.
Well,
soon,
Kristen, you have to send me their his Twitter handle so I can.
Mike and I only live like I want to say maybe an hour away from each other, and we've never met.
Oh wow! Really? Mike, you're gonna have to change that if you're watching.
That's right. And he actually moved to Indiana, so it might be an hour and a half now.
Oh.
But yeah, we kept in touch a lot last year. We haven't kept in touch recently, but yeah, we live so close, and we've never even met like within an hour and a half. And so it's kind of weird. Like you have these people that are so close to you, you've never even met them.
Yeah, he's a great dude. I love what he does. I love his passion for education, his passion for kids, and he's big about relationships as well. I think, what does he say, Kristen? It's relationships first, relationships always. Is that what he says?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's something like that. So he's big on building those relationships and with staff and with students. So yeah, Mike's a great guy to follow.
Yeah.
Now there was some tea you were going to share with us.
Oh yes. So
your books?
Books, yeah, some books. So I too have signed an agreement with EduMatch Publishing. I announced that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so I'm excited to share that with you and your listeners here. So,
yay!
Yeah, really excited.
Well, welcome to the EduMatch family. We are so pleased and blessed to welcome you. So what do you think your book is gonna be about? Can you spill a little of that?
I can say the book will be focusing on building a positive class and school culture. The working title is A Place They Love.
Mm,
So yeah, get
okay.
excited.
Yeah. So when you
So,
start to do your focus groups, think about Kristen and I.
Absolutely.
so just to piggyback off of that, Brian Costello and I have co-authored a book with EduMatch that should be coming out. We're just past the focus group now, so not
Oh,
sure when it's going
awesome.
to come out.
And then
But
Kristen, you didn't put me on the focus group. My heart's broken.
I didn't know if you know anything about breakout escape room type things.
Oh Lord.
See,
No.
I was saving you a headache from calling me or texting and yelling at me.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to get through one. My teacher gave one as a bonus, and I was just like, that's one bonus I would not be getting, because I went into the room and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, this here is not working, but I still got an A out of this class. I just did not get that bonus on that escape room.
So
No.
now we have to give some much love to Sarah, Dr. Thomas.
That's right.
Yes. Love, love, love Dr. Thomas. Still hate I missed that show, but I'm gonna make up for it. She and I are gonna have a talk soon.
Every time we meet, you always say that. Every time.
Know, that was like, in all honesty, that show I was looking forward to it. That's why I was like, regardless of this surgery, I'm gonna be well and I'm gonna be able to be here so that I can talk to her, because I just have so many questions. I just wanna just go through her little mind and see how she comes up with everything. I'm about to start taking her course that she has about stock. And I mean, I'm like, girl, how do you, like, I just love her. And the one time she came on the show was the one time I wasn't, because I decided that I had a surgery.
She didn't listen to Dr. Kristen.
I be fine. And Kristen was like, hey, let's just reschedule her. And I was like, no, that's disrespectful to change the date. Like, we got to have her here, and I'm going to be here. I'm going to be fine. My surgery's in the morning. We have the show at night. Yeah, my body said no. You will not be on that show tonight, honey. Not the way I was feeling. And I was just like so hurt that I missed that. But I'm going to make it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a chance to talk to her.
Yeah, do a part 2 episode.
There you go.
That's a perfect idea. And see, Kristen is gonna be out for a while in June, so maybe I can try to schedule her for June so that I can do a part 2. Yeah. See, I like y'all thinking it. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd ask you another off-topic question. What's your favorite number?
12.
Why?
Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know if it's just the fact that the numbers are in sequence, like 1, 2.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, I have no idea, but that was my basketball jersey number, like for as long as I can remember. But I remember wanting 12. It was like, I want that number. So I have no idea why, but I gravitated towards 12.
That was your number. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Mine was 3. And then 3 because I have 3 boys, and then I had 3 dogs, but hopefully I'll work on that one day. My husband keeps telling me I cannot get another dog, but he just doesn't know. He does know. He know who he's married to. He know what I'll go do. So yeah, hopefully I see a dog I can rescue, and I'll kind of slide he or she on into the household, because it just, and not having Abby here is not the same. And I'm like, oh gosh, but yeah, I miss her dearly. And that was my little best friend for like 6 years. And to just all of a sudden up and just drop, I was not ready enough. She had an illness, and we were preparing ourselves for, I think that would have hit me differently, but just to drop on me like that, oh, y'all did not want to hear me. I was, my husband, he just walked off. He didn't even try to say anything to me. He just walked off because he was like, I already knew what you were doing, and I wasn't gonna deal with that. So I sat there and cried all the way to the floor by myself.
Aw.
But
Big love to you. Big love to you.
yes, I miss her dearly. She definitely will always have a special place in my heart. And my Kristen sent me the cutest little bracelet with a heart on it, and I keep that really close to me as well. So it always makes me think about my sweet Abby. So, do you have any animals, Elijah?
I have a pet. I have a cat.
I have a pet.
I have a pet.
A pet, and then
I'm
it's like a pet to a cat.
Looking around. She's asleep on the couch right now. Her name is Nala. Her name is Nala.
Nala.
She's a sweet cat once she warms up to you, but until she knows you, she's pretty standoffish. So, yeah.
I feel you on that. Nola, that's beautiful name though.
Yeah. Kristen, I was going to ask you the same question. Favorite number and then pets. Do you have any?
So we have 19 and 3. 1 is because 3 is May 3rd is our wedding anniversary, and it was also my grandmother's and my parents' wedding anniversary. So 3 generations of females. And then 19 was just because it was my birthday. And so when my husband was racing cars, it was number 19. When my son was doing things, he always liked the number 19. He actually liked 6. I don't even know where 6 came from.
Hey, let that baby have his own number. Come up.
Oh, he did. We did. He's had 6 for a long time, and he's changed it on his own. So, but so we have 3 and 19 are the numbers we usually play or things that we talk about.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we have a golden doodle, a black golden doodle named Abby May.
Yes. And Abby is so precious. Oh my goodness. She is just so pretty. I just want to hug her so much when I see her.
And she's like velvet. Her hair is like velvet. She's so soft.
She's so precious. And she's like a one of a kind in her own way because not many doodles are black. And she is she is so precious. So, yeah.
Yep. That's where my children's book came off of is her. So let me see if she's upstairs. I locked her upstairs because she keeps
locking the baby out. She is just darling. She's supposed to be in there next to you so that
I know.
And you didn't lock the baby out.
I know. She's upstairs. Maybe I'll have someone let her down. I'll text upstairs. That's what we do now. So now school is over. What are you going to do? Teachers, it's great that teachers have the summers off, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm got a couple things in the works. My Tracy and I have just recently purchased a house. And so
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And we're going to be doing some little projects on that this summer. And then I am training for a half marathon.
Wow.
That is in August. So I've got a lot of running to do.
Okay, so what's the half of a marathon?
It's 13.1 miles.
Oh,
you got to run that?
Here she. Oh, she's so excited. Here she is.
Hey,
Abby, come here.
Oh, here comes my baby now because I called Abby. Hey. Oh, come here, Lincoln Pooh.
Oh,
I locked her upstairs, and she was so excited to be lit downstairs that she ran up to me.
She wanted to come down to be with you. I'm used to her being there. Aww. Lincoln heard me call Abby, so he had to run over here.
Yeah, there she is.
It's just precious.
She was so excited to come down.
Oh. That means don't lock her out anymore.
I know. She's mad when I do it. I come down here to work out too. And sometimes when I lock her upstairs, because I'm on the floor, doing sit-ups or something, and she'll just either lie underneath me or lie right on top of me. I'm like, this doesn't help me.
Yeah.
Oh,
bless you. Oh, so Kristen, how long do you have left in school?
I have 2 days and 3 official, 2 students.
Because I'm supposed to contact you on
Saturday.
is this Saturday?
Yeah, that would have been the 11th
Yeah.
day.
Yes. I'm gonna be ready Saturday too. I'm not gonna send my messages too early, but I will be ready for Saturday. I'm gonna have everything worked out Friday so that I'll be prepared for our Saturday. So that
I'm gonna go for an early 6-mile bike ride. So wait till at least 9 so I could get home from my bike ride.
no,
So my watch is not going
I'm
off.
not doing that early. Especially when it's not a school day. No. And I'm like so glad that my boys are having to return computers and stuff. So that means no more having to wake up and log in on class. So they're gonna go for sure one more day, and that will be Thursday. And I will send teacher appreciation gifts that day, and we're gonna call it a year. We'll be
Call it
done.
a year. Heck yeah.
Call it
Yeah.
a year.
Heck
It's
yeah.
I counted down 180 days ago. So
Wow.
So Kristen, are you a early riser? You mentioned you have a 6-mile bike ride. You get up pretty early.
I do. Usually 5:30. I would get up. My son has to get up at 5:45 for his school because his bus gets here at 7.
Mhm.
But even on Saturdays, if I sleep until 8,
That's late, huh?
yeah, 8 o'clock is late. 10 o'clock, I'm not feeling well. So
Yeah. My alarm, I shut off all my alarm. I turned off like 14 alarms today.
Oh
Wow.
goodness.
They were just like, it's just like school alarms, like, hey, so and so needs to go to this class and it's time for this specials and stuff like that. So all the school alarms. But then I turned off like my really early ones, but I kept one for about 6 because I do better if I get up and go first thing like that. Tracy is the complete opposite. She could sleep till like 9 or 10
I'm with
and be
Tracy.
fine.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm fine. I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
need to get up.
Me and Tracy will bond well together because
Yeah.
that early.
I will get Tracy in contact with you.
Please do.
Elijah,
Yes, she and I have
you could
so
go
much.
for the run. You could go for the run, and I'll go for the bike ride. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, exercising together in spirit. There we go.
And then LaTezeon and Tracy could just sleep in.
Yeah.
That's
We're going
right.
to sleep in and then we're going to get on and we're going to communicate and we're going to talk about her drawing and how she is desperately needed because I need her for this. And
Yeah,
I feel like I can't move on until I get this complete first. Like I refuse to start on anything else until this gets complete, or at least the other person's part of it begins so that I can take my focus and put it on something else. So it's like my part is done. I just need a wonderful illustrator. Gosh.
Oh, there it is. She finally lit it out after I was wanting to see. He's like, yeah, what is she talking about?
I kind of had my suspicions. So yeah.
Yes, and I think I think we'll bond really well.
I will get you her.
Yes,
put you two in contact.
Exactly. We would do contacts after the show for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could leave the viewers or even us with one last piece of advice, Elijah, what would you leave with?
Oh.
And also how to get in contact with you.
How to get in contact with me. That's the easy one. The advice, man, I don't the advice. Right now, what I would tell to teachers as we're winding down for this school year, I would say really take time for yourself this summer. I know that's been preached and it's becoming like, a broken record. Take time for yourself and take care of yourself. But truly, truly, I hope that, as we wrap up this school year, I really do hope that educators are really taking summer to relax and kind of wind down a little bit as much as they can before gearing up for next year. So get the rest that you need. It would be my advice to anyone right now. As far as getting in contact with me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Carbajal. It's right there on the screen.
I follow you on Insta. I know we're on Twitter and Facebook together, but I'm not sure if we're on Insta.
So I should put a disclaimer. I don't use Instagram as much as I use Twitter. I'm primarily on Twitter, but I have been trying to use Instagram a little bit more. So
Yes, I think that's something I'm going to work on this upcoming. Well, I have school over the summer too because I have one class in June, one class in July. So I made sure I spaced it out so that I won't be completely stressed the entire summer.
yeah,
But I do plan on getting on Insta a little more.
good. Yeah. And well, again, I don't know who I follow on Instagram. I need to double check that, but I believe I follow both of you on Twitter. So yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes,
great to
we
be
are
connected with both of you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
likewise to you.
And Kristen, yeah, it's great to be part of the 100 Stop Project alongside of you. Listeners, if you haven't picked up your copy yet, I'd encourage you to do it. It is a huge project compiled by Dr. Rick Jetter. Seriously, there's a lot of things in there that it's like, yes, I've been thinking that, but then there's other stuff that's like, oh man, that hits hard. And so it's the book I think that a lot of educators can benefit from. I'm definitely benefiting from it myself.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for my copy to arrive tomorrow. And you all's chapters will be the first that I read. I'm going to go out of order. I'm going to go.
It feels like, but the book actually feels like you can read it out of order because I've bounced around. I read Tracy's chapter, I read Kristen's chapter, and then skimmed through and was like looking through not through the book, but through like the table of contents, and was like, looking for people like, oh, I know that person, like I've connected with that person before. I want to read that chapter really quickly, but then I'm going back to the book and then reading it, in sequence. So I think it works. I think you can read it out of order, or you could read it cover to cover. I think it works.
Okay, I found you on
Insta. There are some great authors in here, like Ryan Reed. I met him at a conference. Hal Roberts, who's part of the EduMatch family. Quinn Rollins, Hans Apple, Evan Whitehead.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these people I haven't met, but I know them and I've talked to them before. It's just amazing to see all these different people. There's superintendents. Michael Levelfield, he's in Illinois. He's a superintendent up north. He's the Terrence Tong, the guy who was on here, who was on YouTube sending us messages. He participated in it. So there's a lot of great names in there. And even if you don't know them, I started following them and it's like one after another. It's just amazing to see.
Yes. That's what I'm doing too. As I go through and read it, I'm like, do I know this person? Am I connected? And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not. Like, I need to follow this person because what they're saying is spot on.
You'll at least get 100 more followers there, LaTezeon.
Look, I don't know. I am excited about receiving the book though, and definitely reading the chapters. So I do look forward to that. So
all right. Well, we would like to thank you for coming on and sharing your inspirations, all your information. We'll definitely have to look up when the EduMatch books comes out to make sure we follow, make sure we promote it.
Absolutely.
And then maybe have you back on when the book comes out just to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to connect back with you guys again in this way, and we'll stay connected for sure. But I want to thank you both, Kristen and LaTezeon. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I had a lot of fun talking it up with you guys.
We did too.
We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend with us and give us a little knowledge and wisdom. So we're extremely appreciative of you.
Thank you.
So till next time.
All right,
you all. Bye.